Ghostly tales, yet mirrors of human life. Hey everyone! Welcome to Encountering Chinese, Ghostly Tales from Zhai. Today, I'm going to tell you 3 short stories. The first story is titled Master Dong. At the home of Dong Kuei, the governor of Qingzhou in Shandong province, the family rules were always strict. The male and female servants inside and outside the house dared not utter a word while working. One day, a maid and a male servant were joking and laughing outside the main gate. Master Dong, the son of Governor Dong, saw them and scolded them angrily. After being reprimanded, the two ran away. That night, Master Dong and his book servant were sleeping in the study, which was wide open due to the hot summer weather. In the middle of the night, the book servant was startled awake by a loud noise coming from Master Dong's bed. In the moonlight, he saw the male servant who had been scolded earlier carrying something out of the study. Since it was not unusual for servants to come and go from the master's study, the scholar thought nothing of it and went back to sleep. Suddenly, the book servant heard loud boot clacking. He looked up and saw a tall, red-faced man, resembling the statue of Guan Yu in a temple, carrying a human head into the study. Terrified, the book servant crawled under the bed. More noises came from the bed, sounding like clothes being shaken or someone massaging their stomach, and the noises continued for some time before finally ceasing. The sound of boots was heard again as the red-faced man left the study. The book servant peeked out, saw no immediate danger, and slowly emerged, only to find that dawn had arrived. He touched the bed and found it smeared with a sticky, wet substance and a strong smell of blood. The book servant loudly called out to Master Dong, who then woke up. The book servant recounted in detail what he had seen that night. When they examined the bed with a light, they discovered it was covered in blood. Both were horrified and perplexed, not knowing what had happened. Suddenly, the two of them heard the officers from the local government knocking and shouting at the door. Master Dong went out to see what was happening. The officers, visibly shocked, were exclaiming about an unusual event. They explained to Master Dong. Just now, a delirious person was wandering in front of the yamen, loudly proclaiming, "I killed the master." We saw that the person's clothes were stained with blood, so we brought him into the yamen. After questioning, we learned that he was one of Master Dong's servants. The servant claimed he had killed Master Dong and buried Master Dong's head next to the nearby Emperor Guan's temple. We went to the temple to investigate and found a freshly dug pit, but there was no head. Master Dong was both surprised and puzzled. He quickly went to the courthouse and saw that the person in question was indeed the same male servant who had been teasing the maid the previous day. Master Dong explained the strange events that had occurred in his home the previous night. The magistrate, equally bewildered, was unable to pass a judgment and could only severely punish the servant before releasing him. Master Dong, wishing to avoid further conflict, arranged for the maid to marry the servant and let them leave his household together. A few days later, the neighbors who lived just a wall away from the male servant and the maid heard a deafening, earth-shattering noise coming from their room in the middle of the night. The neighbors quickly got up and called out to them, but there was no response. When they forced the door open, they found that the couple and their bed had been split cleanly in half, with the boards and the bodies showing clear, knife-like cuts, as if they had been sliced through. The most extraordinary stories of the manifestation of Guan Yu's spirit are surpassed by none as peculiar as this one. The second story is titled Zhou San. In Taiyan, there was a wealthy official named Zhang Taihua. One day, Zhang Taihua's household was disturbed by a fox spirit. Despite his attempts to drive it away using various methods, none proved effective. In desperation, Zhang Taihua reported the issue to the local prefect, but the prefect was also powerless to help. At that time, there was another fox spirit living in the eastern part of Taiyan, which had taken on the form of an old man with white hair. The old man interacted with the villagers with proper manners, and was respectfully called Mr. Hu-er. By coincidence, a scholar came to visit the prefect and mentioned the strange occurrence involving Mr. Hu-er. The prefect advised Zhang Taihua to consult Mr. Hu-er about how to deal with the fox spirit. There was a government servant in the eastern village, so Zhang Taihua went to inquire about the matter and confirmed that Mr. Hu-er was indeed real. He then went to the eastern village with the servant. Zhang Taihua hosted a feast at the servant's home to invite Mr. Hu-er. Mr. Hu-er attended the invitation, and they exchanged courtesies as if he were an ordinary person. Zhang Taihua then explained his situation to Mr. Hu-er. Mr. Hu-er responded, "I am aware of this matter, but I have limited ability and cannot help you drive away the fox spirit myself. However, I have a friend named Zhou San who lives at the Yu Temple. He can help you subdue the fox spirit, and I can ask him on your behalf." Zhang Taihua was delighted to hear this and expressed his gratitude to Mr. Hu-er. Before parting, Mr. Hu-er arranged with Zhang Taihua to hold a grand banquet at the eastern side of the Yu Temple the following day, and Zhang Taihua agreed to his request. The next day, Mr. Hu-er indeed brought Zhou San along. Zhou San had curly whiskers on both cheeks, a face as dark as iron, and was dressed in a set of what appeared to be specialized clothing. After several rounds of drinks, he said to Zhang Taihua, "Mr. Hu-er has conveyed your message to me, and I understand the situation completely. However, fox spirits have many followers, and gentle persuasion is usually ineffective. Only extraordinary measures will work. Please let me stay at your home immediately, and I will easily drive the fox spirit away." Zhang Taihua thought for a moment. Zhou San might also be a fox spirit. Even if I can drive away the fox spirit in my house, bringing in another one would just be an eye for an eye. So he hesitated and was reluctant to agree immediately. Zhou San, understanding Zhang Taihua's concerns, reassured him. "Don't worry, I am different from the fox spirit in your house. I have a good affinity with you and will not harm your family." Eventually, Zhang Taihua agreed. Zhou San instructed that the next day, Zhang Taihua's family should stay inside with the doors closed and not make any noise. Zhang Taihua followed Zhou San's instructions and, after some time, heard sounds of fighting and commotion in the courtyard. It quieted down after a long while. When the Zheng family opened the door and came out, they found bloodstains all over the steps. There were also several small fox heads on the open space of the steps, each about the size of a wine cup. They then saw Zhou sitting calmly in the room they had cleaned up. He greeted Zhang Taihua with a bow and a smile, saying, "Thanks to your trust, all the evil creatures have been wiped out." From then on, Zhou San lived at Zhang Taihua's home, and their interactions were like those between host and guest. The third story is titled Zheng. In Huiqing Prefecture, the Prince of Lu was known for his debauchery and tyranny. He would often go out among the common people and seize any beautiful woman he came across. One day, while Wang Xing's wife was out, the Prince of Lu spotted her. He immediately sent carriages and horses to storm into Wang's home. Despite Wang's wife's cries and resistance, she was forcibly taken away. Wang Xing fled and hid by the tomb of Zheng, hoping to catch a final glimpse of his wife as she passed by. Soon, his wife did appear, and upon seeing her husband from a distance, she collapsed to the ground in tears. Wang Xing, overwhelmed with grief, also broke down and cried. The prince's servants, recognizing Wang Xing, seized him and prepared to give him a severe beating. Suddenly, a man emerged from the tomb, wielding a steel blade and exuding a powerful aura. He sternly declared, "I am Zheng. How dare you violate a virtuous woman? Since you are merely servants, I will spare you this time. Send a message to that unrighteous Prince of Lu. If he does not cease his evil deeds, I will ensure his head will be relocated soon." Terrified, the servants abandoned the carriages and fled, while the man returned to the tomb and vanished. The couple gratefully bowed at Zheng's tomb before returning home, though they remained anxious about the prince's potential retaliation. However, days passed without any further news, and the couple's anxiety finally subsided. After this incident, the Prince of Lu's tyranny somewhat diminished. At the end of the story, the author includes this commentary. I once read the records of the grand historian, Assassin's biographies, and I admire Zheng the most for his commitment to justice and righteousness. He was willing to risk his life to repay the favor of Yan Zhongzi. He dared to assassinate the Prime Minister Xia Lei in broad daylight, and even before his death, he disfigured himself to avoid implicating his family. Such courage and wisdom are truly remarkable. In contrast, the renowned assassin Jing Ku lacked the strength to kill the tyrannical Emperor Qin, allowing the emperor to escape and thus failing in his mission and bringing about his own demise. Furthermore, he imprudently borrowed General Fan's head, which he could never repay. This is a timeless grievance and a matter of scorn from someone like Zheng. From the historical records, I have seen that Jing Ku's grave was eventually dug up by the spirits of righteous men Yang Jiaoai and Zhuobuotao. It seems that even after his death, Jing Ku was considered unjust by the spirits. In comparison, Zheng's righteous anger and punishment of debauchery are truly commendable. Alright. That's all for today's ghostly tales. Master Dong, Zhou San, and Zheng. If you enjoyed these stories, please give us a like and subscribe. Please also encourage everyone to comment and share more. We'll see you in the next episode.